Welcome to the session on strategic thinking. Strategic thinking is a valuable skill for everyone in an organization, but it becomes increasingly essential as you ascend the ladder. In fact, you likely won't be promoted and can't succeed as a leader without it. At the leadership position, you stop being evaluated on whether you can implement a task or a project, and you start being asked to conceptualize the project and make determinations about what is valuable for you, the company, and other employees to be spending their time on. That is a completely different skill set, yet no one formally teaches you how to do that. No organization offers a strategy school. You have to take the initiative to figure it out. That's why I am here today. In this course, we will start by really understanding what strategic thinking is and how you can carve out time to do it. We actually spend a lot of our lives being told what to do. We never question the teacher by asking, why are we doing it this way? Or wouldn't it be easier to do it this other way? In fact, most of the time you get praised for just being able to do the task quickly and execute whatever you are told to do. For example, kids will be praised if they do multiplication accurately using the multiplication table. But your success at doing what you are told is actually misleading. It is great in the early days only. If you keep doing it, your career is going to stagnate and eventually decline. What's useful in the early part of the career and absolutely mandatory later on is the ability to embrace strategic thinking. The famous coach Marshall Goldsmith has said that what got you here won't get you there. And that is why strategic thinking helps us a lot. Strategic thinking is simply an intentional and rational thought process that focuses on the analysis of critical factors and variables that will influence the long-term success of a business, a team, or an individual. It is mandatory for leaders to cultivate the skill of strategic thinking. So, how do you do it? First of all, it is important to be clear that it is not a one-time activity where you create a strategy and follow it forever. Because conditions change, your strategy needs to change with it, and that needs strategic thinking. Re-evaluating new information and adopting accordingly needs to become an ongoing way of life. To cultivate a strategic mindset, think about how you can leverage the following activities. First is questioning assumptions. Why do we do it in that way? It is a question every 5-year-old asks 100 times a day, which honestly is extremely annoying. But when we stop asking those questions, most people go to the opposite extreme. They hardly question anything at all. If you can interrogate habits and practices in a targeted way, you can often uncover new ideas and efficiencies that others simply have never thought about. I here recall the famous 5-monkey experiment in which 5 monkeys were kept together in a cage with a ladder in the middle and bananas on the top. Every time a monkey tried to climb the ladder, the experimenter would spray all of the monkeys with icy cold water. In due time, when any monkey tried to climb the ladder, the other monkeys would pull him down and beat him up to avoid being sprayed by icy water. Then the experimenter started replacing one of the monkeys with a new monkey. The new monkey, being unaware about the norm, would try to get the bananas, and the others would beat him up. Eventually, the new monkey learned the social norm and behaved in the expected way only. One by one, every monkey was eventually replaced with a new monkey until there was no original monkeys left. By the end of the experiment, the 5 monkeys had learned to follow the rules without ever knowing the real reason why. If we could ask those monkeys why they can't climb the ladder for those bananas, they would probably say, I don't know, it's just always been that way. And the response, we have always done it this way, leads to the lack of innovation and results in high performers quitting the organization. Asking targeted questions can unlock great potential. The next is observing. So much of modern corporate life is about doing, about moving faster, quicker, making more things happen. Of course, that is important. But if we spend all our time doing, it means we are not really in a position to observe others whom we can learn from or ourselves, which means we can't properly refine what we are doing. In other words, we are not observing the big picture, the macro trends, and the way the pieces of organizational life fit together. Seeing what others are not even looking at, often can give you unique insights about where and how you and your company can gain a strategic advantage. And finally, there is reflecting. We should learn to be in present and reflect on what we have experienced. Kick around the new ideas, sit with your thoughts, and that's how creativity happens. Questioning assumptions, observing, and reflecting are how we can begin to adopt the mindset of strategic thinking. Everyone knows corporation needs to have a strategy for their expansion as well as growth. But strategy is not just for corporations. Teams as well as individuals also need strategic thinking. Let's see the process of a strategic thinking. Strategy begins with the vision or long-term goals. It's about the big picture you make for yourself. Strategy is being clear and proactive in choosing what you are going to do and especially what you are not going to do. Once you get your strategy down, it's time to think about short-term goals. How do you operationalize your strategy? How do you make it real? If you want to become a specialist in AI, maybe that means going back to school for a special degree program. Or maybe your goal is to read a book every week on AI for the next year. There are a lot of possible ways to achieve your strategy. The ones you pick, those are your goals that you work to accomplish. Getting clear on them keeps you honest and ensures you are actually making progress. But goals themselves are often too big to achieve. Therefore, it is important to get clear on your tactics to achieve the goal. You can't just say you are going to read a book a week and then expect it to magically happen. Your tactic could be blocking out an hour in your calendar every morning before you start work, or deciding that you are going to read every day on the train instead of listen to music. Tactics are the concrete activities you undertake to make your goals and therefore your strategy and therefore your vision come to life. Lastly, it is important to make time to be strategic. Most of us make good tactics and strategies when it is about scheduling, but we fail in implementing those tactics or strategies. So you need to make sure to let it happen. I would like to stop here by saying one line that strategic thinking is a virtue, but to make a strategy happen, you have to know how the pieces fit together and what goals and tactics you need to implement to succeed. Thank you all.